How long does it take to become a full-time trader? This guy's clearly been waiting for a long, long time with all his charts and notes and everything on his wall. We'll get going into this. All information in this video is provided for educational purposes only. It's not an offer recommendation to trade futures, stocks, options, or Forex. So, how long will it take? On the topic of how long it'll take, just a quick note, just on myself, I had an interesting journey into trading. I got Bitcoin at a young age while I was in college. It was cheaper than it is today, and made, for at the time, a significant amount of money, which kind of sparked the interest in trading because I realized I could make money doing it. And then it was very interesting because I made the money, and then my tuition was pretty much losing a majority of it over the next 1 to 2 years afterwards. And that was in 2017. It's 2024 now, so I've been, we'll say, actively keeping up with markets and trading for 7 years. And I wasn't day trading Bitcoin. I was more, I don't know if you could even say you invest in Bitcoin. It's always kind of tradable and volatile. Then I started getting into more swing trading, crypto, and did that for, I still do that. So it kind of went from, oh, wow, I can make money overnight to, okay, let me figure out some more about this. And I was working full time at the time. I was actually touring. I was on the road. And so I wasn't watching screens all day at all, but I was still keeping up with markets. I was still reading a lot of market books, these things that's listed on the bottom. I was listening to tons of podcasts, but my screen time was pretty low. I think screen time applies mostly to day trading. Swing trading doesn't require near as much screen time, but it all requires back testing, and you got to look at a market at the screen some. But I'd say the more granular you get in the market, the more screen time is going to go up. So I've been trading for 7 years. I was a financial advisor for a while, and then I stopped doing that because I had the opportunities with funding and had made enough where I decided I was going to trade full time, and I've been full time for about 2.5 years. Just think about that. I was involved with markets for 7 years, and I've only been doing it for, really doing it full time for 2.5 years. So there was a lot of years of, it's not my job. It's more of a hobby, more of an interest. So that's kind of my quick story. One general, obviously everyone's going to have a different path to this. There's some people, just like the children who come into this world being able to play Beethoven by the age of 4. And some people, you can't really generalize the entire population. But on average, I do believe from my own experience and from with other people, it is going to take a minimum of 2 years to be consistently profitable. Why is that? There's so many indicators, different styles, systems, from momentum, mean reversion, scalping, swing trading, order flow. I mean, there's so many things. You can test and try them all, and you can't really do that in one day because you're going to need more data to understand a system, to kind of feel a system, to even feel what's right for you. So there's like the trading side of things. And then there's the psychology side of things, which surely does not come overnight. And that's going to be how you react when you are down on a trade. This is really the balance of greed and fear, which is ultimately probably the biggest player in trading, is keeping greed and fear under control. Both of them. It's so important. And then, again, not just the styles of trading, but different markets to trade: futures, forex, stocks, crypto, and there's more. There's fixed income, commodities, and they all trade differently. You know, they're all prices that move up and down, but they do trade differently. I've traded all of these. And so you got to try these different things on these different markets. And that simply just does not, it just takes time. So you got to look at how often are you working the right way. This is important, the right way on trading. You could sit there and stare at a screen and click around and load one indicator and then try loading another indicator. And you could do that all day because there's a million of them out there. And it's really not too fruitful. You really don't grow a lot that way. So some ways that are good for growth, I would say, are one, having a mentor, going to workshops. There's online, there's tons of stuff, educators online, screen time, highlight that one. That is if I had to say one of these, this is probably the most important, but this is also the slowest moving as far as your progression goes. When you learn from mentors, workshops, books, podcasts, you're obviously listening to someone who's come before you, which then you can implement into your screen time. But so this is the most important and also takes the longest, but it's crucial. These two books, and of course there's more. I have no affiliation with either of these guys, but both of these books for psychology, this isn't going to give you trading setups, but if your psychology is in the wrong place, your setups really don't matter because you'll take a trade that's a good setup, and then again back to fear and greed, you will talk yourself out of it. And both of these books, I have read both of these, and they're wonderful for kind of getting your mind right. I would read both of these before I started trading live money. So all that stuff, we just listed a lot of things that obviously requires a lot of time and patience. So coming into this, don't see these videos on YouTube of people holding stacks of money in their rented Lambo saying they trade Forex. There's a lot of snake oil salesmen out there kind of selling a false hope. Sure, it is a great way to make a lot of money, to have a lot of freedom, but to act like they can, buy my course and in 30 days you're going to get a Lambo, it's just not how it works. So be aware what you are getting into is going to require a lot of time and patience. So some important things to make sure of on your journey, just kind of ground rules. You want your winners to be bigger than your losers, which comes down to understanding risk and reward. I'd like to shoot for at least a 1.5 reward to 1 risk, meaning if I'm going to risk $20, I want to at least make $30. So you want your return to always be bigger than what you're risking. Again, back to screen time, it's so important, setting charts, and simplifying your indicators and setups over time. Simple is good. Also know there is no holy grail. There's also a lot of people who say if you add this, this, and this, it's going to be perfect and you're going to, again, get a Lambo. There's a lot of things to try. So this goes back to finding indicators that work for you and then pairing that with screen time. And then just trying to be simple over time. Making your own system. Back to the screen time and indicators, you make your own system that works for you. Don't be on Twitter and you're following this guy or you're in this Discord room and you just decide to follow someone's trades. Over time, there's one guy's going to be long and one guy's going to be short in the same thing as markets work. And it's ultimately just not going to work. And you're not going to learn. You're not going to understand what's going on. You're just going to be blindly following somebody. And then, one, it's not going to work over time. But two, if they disappear, then you're up a creek. So just blindly following people is not a longevity. There's no longevity within it. Having a plan and rules, if the market comes down here to this certain location, I'm going to enter and I'm going to have a stop here and a take profit here. You got to do that and don't bend that. you need to stick to your system, and then keeping a journal. I've recently put out a video through Ninjacators on keeping a journal and what that looks like. A paper journal, digital journal. There's multiple ways to go about that. There's a whole video on how to do that in a good way. So these charts, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Indicators, movements, too much stuff. Keep it simple. Again, I said it, you get a couple indicators, that's great. Indicators help a lot. But if you have more than probably 3 or 4, it's actually going to start having a negative effect on your trading. So here's kind of the progression of drawing out a flow chart of like how long it takes to be a trader. This is simple. We'll get into more details in the next slide. But becoming familiar with markets, there's obviously a learning curve. We don't come to this world knowing the difference between Forex and futures. Kind of becoming familiar with everything, familiar with indicators, back-testing ideas. Then you get a demo account, which would be trading in simulation mode, not real money. You can, there's a lot of places you can open demo accounts and ultimately just trade fake money with a live market, or do market replay and trade fake money in a past market, but it'll still be moving. Then you go to your live account. That'd be where you put your own money in. You actually start taking trades, get some skin in the game. This is a big step because it does add a little more emotion. Demo's great for kind of understanding how markets move, getting a feel. But when you're here, live account, it's pretty unavoidable to start having a little bit of emotion involved, especially at first, because you will be making and losing money. And then after you do that, you'll size up, get funded through prop firms. It's a good way to get a lot of excess capital, size up, and then scale. And so we'll go to the next slide. And a little bit more. Here's some kind of rough timeline. Again, like it's not a one-size-fits-all for this. So these times, these numbers are, it's not gospel here, but it is, I think, what I did and what people I know did. So again, familiarity, it's going to be learning about the different market styles and indicators, and this is starting from ground zero. So as if you knew nothing about trading. So I'd say that it's going to take about 6 months or more to learn all that, look at indicators, backtest some strategies, coming up with ideas of what you can do. This backtesting can be done manually or with code. Code makes it happen a whole lot faster. It also is a whole different skill set. So if you don't know how to code, you're going to be doing it manually. And that's just, finding a setup, having an idea, and then testing it over and over and over back through time until you find some sort of edge. Once you think you have an edge, ideally you have maybe 3 for different market types. Then you get your demo account, and I'd trade at least 3 months, 3 to 6 months. Make sure you're consistently profitable before you actually put money in. Once you put money in, I'd be looking for at least a year again. So after this is a year of trading, learning about trading, but not even making money because you're not using real money yet. So that's a year. Then you need at least another year of I'd say a smaller account. Obviously, you don't want to be risking your entire income. You don't want to risk your entire bankroll, bank account. I'd do that for at least another year. So now we're 2 years in. And that's, like I said, 2 years before you're consistently profitable. And then that's when you can start, add money to your accounts, do some of these prop accounts, funding programs. And then you just continue to do that. And then ultimately scale after that, which you can do as long as you feel like trading. I feel like if you love this game, you will probably do it for your lifetime. It's a great way to make money. It's a great way to have freedom, great way to retire. But just to kind of round this up, 1 year of no real money, 1 year of small real money. So after 2 years is when you really start sizing up, looking at other opportunities to get money. and then you just continue to scale that for the rest of your life. So I hope this helps kind of understand how long it takes. I'm not here to sell you on I can make you rich enough to buy a Lambo in 30 days. This is the reality of trading. This is how long it's likely going to take, some steps you need to do. Remember steps, looking at indicators in psychology. So you want to be aware of the market. You want to be aware of psychology. And then this is just kind of a list of different things. There's so many resources where you can dig in and learn more. So hopefully this helps give you an idea of how long it's going to take to be a trader. And hopefully you can get there as soon as you can. But again, time and patience, it's not going to happen overnight. So if you want to do it, put your head down and have fun and just love the game. All right.